Hello, my name is Quintella White. I started this podcast to motivate and encourage individuals diagnosed with various medical health challenges. With a personal diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, I aim to inspire individuals of all ages to reclaim their dreams and redefine their lives in spite of their disabilities. Welcome to Motivation Station, hosted by myself, Quintella White. Hey y'all, I'm back. Welcome to episode 17 Motivation Station. And yes, I'm still excited. I cannot believe it is episode 17 already. That was quick. Wow, time definitely flies. I hope you all are feeling wonderful today. I hope you all are feeling great today. Happy Wednesday. Our topic for today is Your Story Matters. That's it. Your story matters. Let's go. Today, I would like to speak about how important it is. And let me start out by saying it didn't take a while for me to I knew this for a while. I understood this. I knew this for a while. It just took a while for me to get there. It took a while for me to get there. So with that being said, I I want to express to you all how important it is. But remember, your journey, your pace. Your journey, your pace. My journey is my pace. So y'all notice I always go back to a previous episode. I always go back. So it is very important for us to share our stories because your story is going to encourage the next person. Your story is going to encourage someone else that is, in a dark place, going through, just diagnosed with the medical, that part. So, but how you go about sharing your story is different. Just because I'm on a podcast speaking and sharing, trying to help and encourage, that you don't my way is my way and your way is yours. What works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for the next person. So even though I'm saying how important it is to share our stories, you don't have to do it publicly. It could be like a coworker, that could be dealing with whatever, and you wanna share with them. It could be like one on one, it could be a group, it could be just whatever. It just when we share our stories, it just helps the next person and the next person and the next person. So and for me, a little background on myself. I have always been as for as long as I can remember, I have always been very private. It is just who I am. I can't express that enough. I've always been private. I am very secretive, I guess you could say, to a certain extent. I'm just that's just me. I that is just me. Younger, before I became an adult, I probably had a well, no, I did have a blabber mouth and run and tell everybody, that. But again, that was a kid. The teenager me, the adult me, I've just always been private. It's just my way. It's just who I am. I can't help who I am, and it's my way, and it works. So even though it took me a while. Oh my gosh, so long to even build up the courage to start this podcast, to encourage. But it's just that I was in that dark place for so long, and it just didn't feel good. So for me, it was just like, oh my God. Like, and I learned so much. I learned a lot along the way. And how did I learn? By hearing stories, hearing what this person went through and how they overcame, and hearing, how the next person went. And literally, that wasn't the only way I got through. That was a part of how I am where I am today. It wasn't all of it, but it definitely played a part. So for everyone that I met along the way, I am so grateful for the stories that were shared with me, because those stories encouraged me to, to want, to realize that my life wasn't over, to realize that I can and I still will accomplish all of my dreams. Literally, if I didn't hear all of those stories that people share with me, and this person I met at the, whatever, and I love to talk, so I'm always talking to people somewhere, whatever, whatever. So literally, if it wasn't for those things, I feel like I would not 100% be where I am today. So, and it took me a while. I'm telling y'all, my family, oh my God, my close family, my close friends, I have a group of them. They all can tell y'all I am very private. So me building up the scrim to even do what I'm doing was definitely not easy. But I'm grateful that I'm here, and because I'm getting so much positive feedback, and how I'm helping, and me sharing my story is helping them get through, whatever, blah blah blah. So it just, and that feels good to me. Like, it feels good to me to know that me sharing, just a little bit is helping the next person. So I just don't want you all to, don't feel, what's the word? Don't, I would never tell you all to share it all. Tell every single bit of your story from A to Z, because I promise you that's not what I'm doing. That is not what I'm doing, and I'm still, there's there's a lot of things that I still hold close, and I will still keep, I won't make public. I won't do that. So when I first put this podcast out, so when I first put this out, the first 2 days, y'all, I was so nervous. I was just so nervous. It was just an overwhelming amount of emotions. And I basically felt like something that was so private to me, I made so public. And because I was always so private, just like, hold on. Now I feel like, oh my God, now the world knows my secret. That's how I feel. So once I got over that, and now I'm, doing videos, recording, whatever, it just feels good to get positive feedback of how I'm helping someone, the same way I gave the individuals that shared their stories with me to help to get me where I am. The same way I shared with them, like, wow, thank you so much. I would not be here, if your story, if you didn't share your story with me. So I'm not saying you have to, again, do it publicly, do it, however, just when, and hold up, back up. When you feel like the timing is right, when you feel like you're ready to share your story with someone, and it could be one person, it could be one on one, it could be in a group of five, it could be in a group. You don't have to have an auditorium full of people to share your story. But all I'm saying is, when we share, sharing is caring. When we share, it helps to encourage the next person, and that's what we're supposed to do. That is how. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. If you're, that's how God designed. We all have to. That's just how it goes. So literally, just don't ever feel. And I went through that season, and we talked about that feeling embarrassed. Remember, I always go back to a previous episode. Don't feel ashamed to share your story. Don't feel like I have to keep the story to myself all and I'm never going to share with anyone. Don't do that, because when you share with someone, you're going to and think about it. When you share with them, they're going to benefit from that story. It's going to help them to get through, and then they'll be able to share with the next person, and then the next person, and it's just like a domino effect. We all will just be walking around feeling better. So that's it. So share your story when you feel that the timing is right for you, and it took me a long time to get here, a long, long, long time to get here. So when your journey, your pace, when you feel like the timing is right, it's okay to share your story, because by sharing your story, you could probably help so many people, to just be encouraged. They're gonna look at you. Imagine someone else that is diagnosed with the same medical condition as you. For example, for me, imagine my viewers that are diagnosed with MS just like me. They're probably they'd be like, wow, boy, I never thought I could. And they're watching me, and they was like, wow, when I shared not last week before last, when I shared with you all how I turned my living room around. Remember I said I asked my husband. He's a horrible procrastinator, and I built up the strength to do it myself. Well, someone else that's diagnosed with MS will probably look at that episode and be like, "Wow, I never thought that I would be able to do something like that again." And I'm probably now making them reevaluate their diagnosis, and they're probably saying, "Wow, they didn't realize that they had the strength. They had that strength." So just y'all get where I'm going. So just and on your timing. You don't let anyone else determine when is the time for you to share. You don't let anybody else pick the date for you. You once you feel that the timing is right for you, and you go from there. When I first, y'all know, I already shared that I have a wonderful relationship with God, and I'm grateful for. And the first thing, when I kept debating about it back and forth, should I do this, should I not? I prayed about it, of course. I waited on God, waited for His answer, and that's how I am. That's how it started for me. So just when the timing is right for you, your journey, your pace. Just don't feel ashamed. Don't feel like you're not supposed to. Don't feel like, oh my God, it's okay to share your story. That's it, y'all. That's it. That's all. Your story is the bridge that can help someone else cross. Y'all, I find these quotes and I love them. So keep that in mind. Your story is the bridge that can help someone else cross. That's it, y'all. So that's it. I kept it brief today. Motivation station, I'm trying to remember. It was 6. Oh, it's going so fast. 17. So that's going to wrap up our episode for today. Don't forget to smile. Remember, smile, smile, smile. When you smile, just keep that smile on your face. Continue to speak positive, and remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You definitely can. You definitely can. So, and we're not quitting. That's it. We're gonna keep on moving. We're gonna keep on fighting, and the best. And remember this, y'all. This is another one. That got the best is yet to come. That's it. The best is yet to come. Your story matters. My story matters. So that's it. We wrapping up Motivation Station episode 17. I am out, y'all. See y'all next week. Have a wonderful work week. Keep on smiling. And that's it, y'all. Peace. Bye.